Hello and welcome to the 2014 Paterson School Board Election Candidates Forum sponsored by Paterson Education Fund. I am Rosie Grant. I am the Executive Director of the Paterson Education Fund, and I will be your moderator today. With me is Reverend James Staten, who is our interviewer, and he will introduce himself as we get started. We have some volunteers. Kim and Candace Mapp are working with us. They will be taking your questions for the candidates, which you will write on the index cards. There are 8 candidates vying for 3 3-year terms in this election, and there is 1 candidate for 1 2-year term. 7 of the candidates are participating in this forum. We regret that Taj Udin sends his regrets because he's unable to participate due to illness. The forum is divided into 2 segments. This is the second of the 2 segments, so be sure to watch the first segment also. Reverend Staten, please introduce yourself, and then we'll have the candidates introduce themselves.
Yes, Pastor James Staten, President of the First Ward Community Development Corporation.
Dr. Jonathan Hodges.
Nellie Selly, co-SMN.
Thank you. Our audience can learn more about the candidates and the election issues in our PEF's Educated Voters Guide, which is available on our website, which is www.paterson-education.org, or call us at 973-881-8914. Let's move to the questions. All candidates will answer the same questions, and I ask you to please limit your answers to 2 minutes. You could do a 2-minute introduction if you like, or we can launch into the questions. You were all very generous by just stating your names.
Do you want to start? Just go to questions, right? You guys also use the introduction
Just go for it.
Yeah, but we can just go a combination of introduction and answer the questions.
Okay.
Save ourselves some time.
The first question, I will start with Dr. Hodges, and the second one I will start with so forth. First question, Paterson's new teacher's contract include merit-based performance pay. How do you think these strategies will impact Paterson's children?
Well, this is a mixed picture. The concern with merit pay on the parts of the teachers is that they won't have fairness, and that the principals will support people that they're very fond of, and a good teacher who might not be in the good graces of a principal will not be rewarded for their work. On the other hand, if there is a fair system in place and the teachers are in fact evaluated on what they do in the classroom and how well they perform, then the merit-based system can cause better teachers to be rewarded for their activity and encourage other teachers to be better in their performance. I'm hoping that we have a decent system of evaluation in place that will enable us to make this an effective approach for our students. The juries are out on that at present.
Hi, I'm Nellie Selly, and I've been working with the community and the kids in the schools for over 20 years. And I'm fortunate to have had that experience, which allows me to, gives me the opportunity to enter this election with a little background on the schools and the kids and the families and how it works and what works and doesn't work. I will not say that I know every answer or that I have every solution, but I welcome ideas and suggestions to reach the solutions and stop talking about the problems. Let's solve the issues at hand. In reference to the merit pay, there is no perfect solution. There is no utopia when it comes to this. Some teachers will benefit from it, and some others won't. There has to be things in place to assure that every teacher is graded accurately and not favored or hurt because they don't get along with the administration. So there has to be tools in place so that everyone's being treated equally. That's the important thing, that there is no favoritism, that everybody has a chance, and the teachers shouldn't just be based on merit. We want them to do more. We want them to be able to go out there and teach the children and not be so concerned about this testing grade or that testing grade or the merit pay or does the principal like me or not, and it's that, or if I do what the principal likes even though it goes against what I want to really teach what the children are learning goes against what would hurt them in the end. So I think we're going to have to wait and see, and as it rolls out we need to look at how we can improve the system so that it can be better the next time around. That's it. Thank you.
Could you introduce, or we have to answer the question?
You can do both.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Koes Ahmed, and first I'd like to thanks Paterson Education Fund Program and the audience, and also audience that are watching from home, for giving us the opportunity to be here today and express our agenda. I'm very proud and honored to be here today because I personally graduated from the school, John F. Kennedy High School, in the year of 2007. Actually, this is my home. This is where I graduated from. So I'm very proud to be back here, and especially when there is a lot of memory that come back when I come to school. How I got up every day in the morning to start my school, where I need to go to my homeroom and stuff. Just to give you a little background about myself, when I was 7 years old, I came to the United States, and when I came here, I didn't speak English, a word to speak English. So I have to go to the bilingual class, I have to go to ESL class, different courses, and I have to work out my way to come here today. After I started from school number 5, I graduated from school number 5, and then I started from I started at John F. Kennedy High School. And once I came to John F. Kennedy High School, I completed my I graduated from here and then went to the college. But most importantly, when I was in John F. Kennedy High School, without the teacher, I'd like to say thanks to the teacher. Without their support, without the principal's support, without the staff, without the others that was involved in the school system, I wouldn't be able to succeed in my school system, especially in Paterson school system. After I graduated from John F. Kennedy High School, I went to Ramapo College. I graduated from Ramapo College, and then I got after I graduated from Ramapo College in a degree in accounting and a minor in information systems. I found a job with the federal government as a software engineer, and currently I'm working as a software engineer. So I believe that if I can make it through the system, if I can make it through the Paterson school system, I'm sure other kids that are in our school system could make it as well. Thank you.
And do you want to address the question regarding to merit pay and how that helps impact students?
Yes, I like to believe in that. Just fairness. It should be fair, both equally. We should treat everyone equally, not like because their marital status or how they start. We need to also work with both performance, how they perform in the classes or how they teach and everything. At the same time, we should also consider as their marital status as well.
We constantly hear that our schools need more parental participation. Too often parents report the schools are not welcoming to them. How should our schools engage parents as partners? What will you do on the board to work on this issue?
Parent involvement is lacking in the schools. That's something that we've seen over years, and we haven't been able to find the perfect solution or the solution that brings in more parents. There's currently action teams at numerous schools, which is helping involve the parents to get to know the parents, get them involved, getting the teachers involved, involving the community. That's a step forward. From that, I know we can bridge the gap between the parents and the schools, and I believe that everything starts from the top. From the top down. If the administration of that school or the administration of the Board of Education as a whole does not demand that everybody be treated with respect as they walk into a school or walk into an office, it's not going to happen. If it's not tolerated by those above you, you're not going to cross that line. You're going to do what is asked of you and demanded of you. So it starts from the top. Reaching the parents, one by one. I say, if they're not coming to the schools, let's go to them. Let's go to the churches. Let's go where they gather. Let's talk to them. Let's stop talking above their heads and let's talk to them as they can understand this one-on-one. Let's share the information that's going on in the schools. Let's ask them what are some of their concerns. Let's explain to them how the school system works, how everything works, where can they go ask for help. And let's not close those doors where they can't find any help or they get turned away and they get discouraged. That's why parents sometimes don't go back to the school. They get discouraged. They haven't found the answers. They haven't found anyone that is willing to help them. So they turn away and don't bother anymore. So those are the parents we have to reach. We have to reach every single parent, because every parent will make a difference in the life of a child. So whatever it takes, and it's bringing the community together, the non-for-profits, the churches, the organizations, the school administration, anyone that's out there that's willing to help or has any idea or suggestion on how to get some people together, we have to be open to it. We know there's a problem. Let's find the solution together. Thank you.
Yes, this is a very interesting subject, and I found it very not correct, or is not correct the way we structure our systems. When I did my research, and I found that there is 30,000 students in Paterson, but when you go to the board meeting, only 20 to top 25 parents are there. So the puzzle doesn't really match. How come there is 30,000 students in Paterson and only 20 to 25 parents are showing up on the board meeting? Maybe it's not a clear communication. Maybe they're not providing the sufficient information why they need to be there. So we need to come up with a solution. We need to come up with the agenda, how we should approach those parents, how we should tell them what is their kids doing in school, why they need to be in the meeting, how can we make it as a community, as a group, as a one team, how can we change this? I just like to bring it up one thing. When students want to go to field trip, they get a paper, they get a flyer, hey, you have to pay your dues, $5, $10. How come they never receive a letter from the school or the administration or the board saying that, hey, tomorrow is a board meeting, unless they go to the board site, school board site. So we need to give them some kind of information saying that, hey, tomorrow is a board meeting, tomorrow, or some kind of source. Or we could have an electronic board outside saying that tomorrow is a board meeting, or tomorrow is a basketball game, tomorrow is this. We have to work on this. So my thing is that our parents is not getting a clear communication why they should come here. And they're not getting the news that we are working together, not as an individual. So my thing would be if I had the opportunity, I like to, after every board meeting, I like to send out to parents, whatever parents couldn't show up. Whoever parent couldn't show up on the meeting, send them a notice, what happened in the meeting, what is the agenda. Thank you.
70% of a school-age child's time is spent outside the classroom. And parental involvement is a better predictor by 2 or twice as much as socioeconomic status. The problem is convincing parents to share their busy day and their times with the school system and to push education in their homes. That's not been a very successful process in urban areas across this country. Now, there are a number of different strategies that have been applied in this district. We have mandated that every school have a homeschool council or PTA in the building. We've had parent liaisons, which are supposed to be welcoming parents when they come to our school buildings. But it hasn't been very, very effective at all. So some of the ideas that people are looking at are, and there's an exciting new program, is the Parent University, which invites parents to come and talk about why school is important. Give parents tips about how to bring their children up in this educational environment. Tries to explain to parents how you can do things that will be beneficial at home to encourage and enhance children's education. We've had parent resource rooms that are opening up in buildings. We've had parent resource workers who are going out and reaching out to people. We're talking about having school-based programs that utilize our students in plays and performances, this kind of thing, which encourages the parents to come to the school to watch your child perform. And oh, by the way, we're going to talk to you about education. We're going to talk to you about how you can help with reading. We're going to talk to you about how you can create an environment at home.
Once again, Governor Christie proposed to underfund our school by ignoring the School Funding Reform Act, and the superintendent is struggling to avoid a physical cliff for the Paterson Public Schools. This year, Paterson will receive approximately $24 million less than the formula calls for. What action should the board take to address this shortfall?
Yes. First thing, I'd like to say that superintendent, state, community, individual within the board or within our community need to work together. We need to, since we don't have the full control over it, we need to work with the superintendent. We need to work with the state. We are state. The tax money that comes from the state is coming from the community. So we need to work together. Together, we need to influence. We need to motivate our superintendent. Tell him how he's supposed to go out there and help us, to talk for us, raise voice for us. Without working together, I don't think it is possible to make any changes, especially with the state or local. So I urge every community members, superintendent, board of education members, administration, everyone to work together and work with the state to accomplish any goals they need to go.
This has been a difficult challenge for this school district. In the past, the board has demanded that the superintendent of schools sue the state to get the money that it's earned or it's deserved. And we've won. But under this current gubernatorial administration, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we, the community, sit back very quietly and accept these cuts without coming out and saying this is wrong. Legally, this is wrong. The Supreme Court has defined what is supposed to happen financially in terms of districts like Paterson, which are an avid district, and we have dropped the ball, we as a community. We have reached out to you a number of times and said, come and raise some noise. Come to the board members and come to the Board of Education meetings and show the state superintendent that we understand what's happening, that we're not going to accept what's happening. But in the absence of a pushback by the community, he does not have cover to push back and demand additional funding. And that's a major problem. We have gone down to Trenton. We have gone to court. We have gone and worked with the Educational Law Center to help build a case to stop this kind of gradual undermining of our financial structure. But without the community standing up and saying, this will not stand, our voices are not heard.
I think it's important that the community is aware. We're glad to hear that efforts have been made to inform the community. But we can't just say 24 million are being cut. Where are the cuts? How is it going to affect your children? And if you have no children in the schools, how is it going to affect you anyway? Because everyone gets affected by this in one way or the other. And I think the bigger picture needs to be narrowed down and explained in a manner which everyone can understand and can see what a difference this makes and that we need to hold the governor accountable. If this is money that is supposed to be going to the children, then they deserve to have it for whatever they need. And we do need to come together and say, this is not tolerated. This is what is supposed to come to us, and this is what we must have. But in light of the fact that we probably will not win that, or we might not come together this year and make a fight and push the governor to provide us with what we are entitled to, then we need to look at where and how the money's going to be cut. We're top heavy. Some people don't want to hear that, but we are. We need to look at what we have and what we can work with. And it's like anything. If you are working at a job and you're going to get a pay cut, you have to look at how you're going to cut back. What are you going to cut out? What do you need to have and what you don't need to have? If you're unemployed, you have to cut back. You have to make changes in your budget. If this is the unfortunate fact that we face, we need to look at what we need to have to provide a quality education and what are things that we just have because. Things that we have just because can be let go. The children need certain things and their needs come first along with the administrations. And the teachers need to have the books and the supplies they need. Some things are unnecessary in my opinion, unless someone can show me differently. And the unnecessary things, the things that we just have because we can, are the things that we need to let go. The things that are essential to the education and the learning of the students is what we must keep and we must fight for. Thank you.
Paterson Education Fund's Educated Voter Guides shows a second year of absenteeism and lateness by our current board members. Normally, board members have 22 public meetings in addition to monthly committee meetings and special meetings. Given that the school board is a volunteered, unpaid position, do you have time to truly participate? Please give an example of how you will adjust your schedule.
Well, let me just say, I'm guilty. I've been asked to participate on a statewide task force by the New Jersey School Board Association to help discover ways to close the achievement gap. And as a result of that, I have missed more meetings over the last year, I think about 3 or 4, than I have in the previous 12. But the benefit is I'm sitting at the table with administrators and school board members and people from all over the state talking about ways to improve the achievement gap. They're coming in and relying on Patersonians, us, to tell them, because statewide there isn't the approach to paying attention to achievement gaps in their individual school district. We are doing things, we are forced to do things that other districts which are doing better than we are aren't paying attention to. We must understand that being a school board member doesn't mean that you just sit here in this building or sit here in this district and answer questions or read the material that comes from the state superintendent of schools. It's a full-time job. And it may take you down to Trenton. It may take you down to New Orleans. It may take you down to Washington. It may take you to different places to get an understanding of what's happening and what you can bring back to enhance what goes on with education in this city. And basically, you need to understand that you're competing with people all over the world. And you've got to have that information. You've got to understand what you're doing and what's happening that the people that you're competing with. So when you get to the board, you will realize that there's a lot more that you can do. There's a lot more that you have to understand. There's a lot more that happens than just sitting on the school board.
For me, it's kind of simple. It's been a crazy ride, trying to campaign and lead a life and everything else. It's insane. I'll say it, it's insane. But you know what? I do it because I want to do better for the kids. I believe and I know that the children deserve better. There is no second choice around it. They deserve better. And if I'm willing to sacrifice everything to be a part of this election and be elected, then I'm going to make the time. Because otherwise, I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting your time, and I really don't have the time to waste. And I don't have that kind of energy to waste. And if I make a commitment, then I'm in it all the way. I won't make a commitment and go halfway, because the children are my focus, and they have been for 20 years. And if it wasn't my focus, I would have dropped out of this a long time ago, and you never would have heard my name. But because I am committed to those children and to this community and to the well-being of this society and the world, that they will change once they receive a quality education, I'm here. I'm completely dedicated. I will attend every meeting humanly possible. And I will be there because I am committed to the children. And that's all that really matters, and that's the bottom line. Thank you.
Yes, just like I said, I work as a software engineer with the federal government, and the most importantly, I work from home. I don't work based on the hours, I work based on the project. My project gets delivered every 6 months, 1 year. We don't get it delivered the next day or anything like that. So to be committed, I'm definitely committed to the board or to the students or our school system, because I don't need to have individual time to go visit a school. I could visit it any time because I have a flexible time. I work from home. So if situation happens 6 in the morning, situation happens 11 o'clock in the morning, I don't have to say that, hey, I'm at work right now. I will have to get back to the situation. I could go right away because I work from home. If anyone needs me in the school system, I don't have to say, I will get back to you. I am there because I work from home. So importantly, I will try everything within my power to help the school system, and I will be supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 questions from the audience for you. First is name the 3 most critical challenges the district is facing presently, and say how, as a commissioner, you propose solving them.
You may go, yes.
Okay. We have some of the worst facilities in the state of New Jersey, by far. It's not me saying it, it's the state of New Jersey saying it. They acknowledge it fully. However, they've been dragging their feet on enabling us to move forward and to improve what we have. We also have had some challenges in our own house in terms of making improvements that we need and going beyond what the state is prepared to offer to develop our own new facilities. Those things have got to change. We have been hampered significantly by the constraints of the state, but that isn't what should keep us from moving forward significantly. And that's one of the areas that needs to be taken care of. Our overriding reason for being here is to educate our children. There is nothing more important than that. And recently, our test scores have taken a significant tumble, and that has to be changed. We have to look for a better approach to the practices that are currently being utilized by this district. I was told, upon release of that information, that the reason our test scores were poor was because we were teaching to a particular test. And the results were significantly beneath what needed to be. Teaching to a particular test. That was the explanation for this latest set of test scores. So that's an area that has to be addressed, and we're going to be meeting on a retreat to discuss that and answer. The last area, of course, is the funding. Our hands are tied because of what we've done in the past, which has led to our fiscal cliff. We have made some bad choices, and those choices are now coming home to roost. We're going to have to make some better choices in the future in terms of programming, in terms of employees, in terms of approaches.
You can finish your sentence.
that will enable us to have a better predictability on how our funding goes on in the future.
For me, the 3 things that I would like to concentrate on would be reading and reading comprehension. It's, from what I understand and what I've read, we're at 34%. 34% of third graders are reading at grade level. That's unacceptable. Reading is fundamental, and it makes all the difference in an education and the success of that individual. So working with the schools, developing some mentoring programs, maybe the older children, helping out the younger ones, working with the library for some tutoring programs, looking within the community, see what resources are available, who's willing to help. I doubt if we knock on a door and say, can you help us, we have this reading problem, and you have the space, and you have some people that can help us, that someone would say, no, I can't be bothered, I'm not going to help any kids in this community. So I think using our resources, let's look around, let's see who we have that can help us. Let's knock on that door, go walk, go talk to people, find out who is willing to help, who's willing to stop saying there's a problem and willing to do something about it. The next thing is accountability of our budget. It's a large budget. We're going to take a cut on it. We're going to get hit with it again. We need to look at what is needed, what isn't needed, and we need to go directly to the sources, the principals, the teachers. What do they need to do their job? Forget about all the promotions and all those things that are nice and making things look beautiful when the inside is falling apart. Let's make the inside strong so that the outside won't matter what it looks like, because the inside is strong and it's got a good foundation that only good things can come out of that. At-risk youth is the other. Go talk to counselors. Find out what do they need to reach these children who are falling through the cracks. So many of them fall through the cracks and become society's problem. When are we going to say it's enough? When is that one child going to be enough? We should be able to reach these children, give them opportunities so they don't become at risk, so they don't become society's problem, but society's success stories. Thank you.
One of the areas that I like to focus on is the safety. School system, our Paterson school system, cut $450,000 from our security budget. But throughout Paterson, recently, few days ago, there was a shooting going on Saturday, police versus other gang members and stuff. Every day there is a shooting going on through on Paterson. I'm not sure how the parents feel or the audience feel here sending their kids to school when there is a shooting going on all over throughout the Paterson, and sending them to school feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. I want to increase the security. I don't want to decrease the security. So we need to fight together. Even if we have to go to Trenton, if we have to go to Washington, any place, we need to strongest our security. We cannot say that we don't have the security. Safety is one of our critical needs in our system today, especially when there is so much shooting going on in Paterson. So I like to invite every community members, organization, everyone to fight for that, and I will fight for that as well. Even if I have to go to Christie or anyone else, I'm willing to do, because I have a niece, nephew, others goes to school as well, just like everyone else here. So please, let's fight together on this. Secondly, quality of education, one of my concerns. Approximately 450 students took a SAT score, year of 2013, and only 19 students met the college standard. This doesn't show that we have the quality of education. So we need to work with the teacher, administration, and other staff that are working within our school systems to accomplish the common goal. And one other area that I like to work on is budgeting. We are allocating budget in the wrong place, wrong allocation. Harp Academy doesn't have a lunchroom, but they're fixing school number 2 playground. What do you guys think, as a parents, what do you guys think is important? A lunchroom is important, or fixing a playground is important? So we need to allocate those budgeted into the correct location. And as having an accounting degree from Rival College of New Jersey, I think I could accomplish this goal, working together with the community, other staff in the community as well, and the administration. Thank you very much.
Where do you stand on adult education, such as GED, ESL, parenting classes? Will you fund it?
I think if someone wants to learn, let's find the money for it. Let's throw money at that. That's a solution to future problems. Someone who's educated can go get a job, can start their own business, can do so much. So let's give them the resources. Let's provide individuals with the information on where we're holding GED classes or ESL classes, or any other class that can benefit a community member. The more we can benefit people, the better we are as a society. So there's grants, there's businesses that we can reach out to and say, look, you're going to have better employees if they're educated employees, and if we train them. Job training is important. And if we can provide those resources to the individuals in our society and in our community, everybody benefits. So when everybody is benefiting, we come up with a much better world and a much better society, and we stop dealing with the things that we're dealing with right now. So yeah, I would definitely support that. I would encourage that. I would love to work on something like that. One more thing I'd like to throw in. But it would be fun. It would be fun to give people the opportunity to see them succeed and see the excitement in their smiles and their laugh, knowing that they succeeded, that they learned something, that they are now a contributing member of society. So I think there's resources available to us to provide these programs. We just have to go out there and try to find it and make a case for it. Thank you.
Yes, everyone should have the equal opportunity here. If everyone want to learn, I encourage them to go for it. Why not? In order to build a successful community, everyone need to be educated. Everyone need to be knowledgeable. Everyone need to know how to read and write. So if anyone come up, they say they want to do it, they're willingly to do it. Why not? Why not motivating them? And for the fund, we could get, if we want it, we could find the fund. We just need to reach out to different organizations, different people, different parties. They definitely, no one want to discourage them from learning it. But we just need to find a way, and I'm sure we could do it. I was talking to a couple of days ago, to a couple of the freeholders. They tell me that they are willing to help. When they heard about the $450,000 budget cut, they was like, we could help you get the fund. We work with a different organization and different parties. If you win the election, we will be able to work together and get you the funding. Thank you.
The first teacher that a child has are its parents. And we need parents to be able to prepare their children when they come to school. one of the primary reasons our students don't read well is because their vocabularies are at least 1,000 words below their competition outside of these urban centers. And so if we find ways to position parents so that they're more effective as their first teachers of their students, it helps benefit us, all of us, not only the parents, but the students. Adult education is a difficult process because funding from the district may not be as easy because our money comes from the state. We have to take our own money to pay for that. But there are other ways to raise money. There are other ways to reach out to find partners to make it a sponsored activity so we can help our parents be better teachers for their students, as well as enhancing their life with an education that they can use moving forward. But you must understand, it's not simply a budget item that we can write very quickly because we are funded by the state to the tune of 90%, and we'd have to be very careful how that was done.
I'd like to thank our candidates for being here this evening, for taking the time to talk to the community, and I would like to thank you for viewing this, for taking the time to hear the candidates on the issues. And I remind you, please vote on Tuesday, November 4th. Our children are counting on you. Thank you.